Yo, yo, yo. Hey, guys, welcome back to another awesome edition of the Best Practices Show podcast. We just appreciate you guys showing up. And it's Wednesday. And on every Wednesday podcast, it's Practical Solutions Day. We're committed to bringing you real solutions to real problems. One of the biggest problems you have as a dentist, whether you believe it or not, it's called alignment. When you don't have alignment, bad things are going to happen. It starts with misalignment. Then it turns into contempt. Then it turns into conflict. And then it turns into crisis. Misalignment is the root of all evil in relationships. And so today, we're going to give you 3 alignment hacks to get aligned with the people you work with so you don't run into those problems in the future. With an amazing coach. Her name is Heather Crockett. So please listen up. I hope you guys enjoy this, and we'll see you soon. Hey guys, welcome back to the Best Practices Show podcast, where our jam around here is to give you helpful things to improve your practice and your life. And have you ever thought to yourself, something's a little off? I just feel like we're not all on the same page, or we're not rowing in the right direction, or we're not all doing the same thing. We like to call that alignment. And when you don't have alignment, something bad is going to happen. I'm going to say this a couple times today on the podcast, and I have an amazing coach. Her name is Heather Crockett. She's going to walk us through this. Misalignment is the root of all evil. Anything that goes bad, anything that falls apart, you're going to see we can trace it back to misalignment. And Miss Helpful, today, you like how I made that segue? Miss Helpful, Miss Amazing Coach, Heather Crockett is going to help us. Heather, thanks for being back. I always appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Kirk. I love that. Miss Helpful. I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it with my family and say, Kirk called me Miss Helpful.
Oh my gosh, look at that. And you are super helpful. So, Heather, let's start here. I'm going to say this to anyone who's watching. If you don't know what we do, we coach practices. We coach really good or great practices who get stuck and they're just looking to get better. They're committed to being better. And so we have to get them unstuck. And one of the things that happens a lot is failures or misalignment around being on the same page. So let's talk about why this is so important, Heather.
Well, think about any kind of team you've been on, and it doesn't have to be in a dental practice. It could be a sports team. It could be a music group that you're a part of. It could be any type of setting where you were working with other people, which happens to be quite often. It creates confusion and frustration when we're not all on the same page, especially the leadership team or whoever's in charge. If it causes that confusion and frustration, it can lead to inefficiencies, miscommunication, politicking, gossiping, that inconsistent messaging. And when we're not all rowing in the same direction, we will burn out. We will burn out so fast because what I'm thinking is not the same thing as what you're thinking. I'm headed this way and you're headed this way. And it will create so much frustration.
Mm-hmm. It will create a lot of frustration, and you'll ruminate on these things. You'll talk to yourself. You get angry. You can't sleep. Trust me, I've been there. When you're not aligned with another human being that you work with intimately or live with intimately, it consumes you to the point where it's unhealthy for both of you. And you start to tell your story. And I'll tell you this because I've shared it on the podcast. It's very dangerous to talk to yourself. 80% of self-talk is negative. So when you're talking to yourself about this misalignment, it's never positive. It's always like, right, and it gets louder and louder and louder. And what you do accidentally, and I've done it, is you just let it out. You can't even control it. It just comes out. Boom. And your intention and impact are not the same thing. You're like, I'm just going to say it. Here it is. And they receive it in a way that you didn't want them to receive it. And lastly, you can't unsay what you just said. So how do we avoid all this, Heather? You know?
Well, I want to stay on, like, this is still why when it gets to the point that we haven't addressed it early enough, our patients are going to feel it. The team feels it. The patients feel it. People that associate themselves with the practice, they feel it too. That is such a trust breaker. It is such a big deal. I remember as a hygienist myself in the past, one particular office that I worked in, I had a patient come in, was in my chair, and we got halfway through the appointment. And he said, you're really great. And I hope that, so sweet, what a great compliment. You're really great. I hope that you stick around. I said, oh gosh. He said, tell me what you mean by that. He said, well, I've had a different hygienist almost every single time I've been in here, and I've been a patient here for 5 years. I thought, oh gosh, that's really interesting to me. I wonder what that is all about. And he said, what I've witnessed is that it doesn't seem like you guys are all on the same page, which really impacted me as a hygienist. Okay, so I actually made a bet with that patient that I would be there again the next time, and I cleaned his teeth 4 times. So wow. I was there for at least 2 years. I know, I was really happy about and excited. But that's one of the ways that frustration and that misalignment can truly impact your patients and your practice and your team overall. Because we can say like, oh yeah, we're not on the same page. Not a big deal. I have to have a dental assistant. She's not on the same page, but it is what it is. It's not. It is going to affect the practice. It is going to affect your patients, and they are going to notice. Referring doctors will notice. Other teams in the community will notice. And having that reputation of this is a great practice to work for, I can tell that they have great trust, that they have built that with their team, and their team members are engaged, the patients are engaged, and you can feel that. Anytime I go into a practice that I'm coaching or otherwise, you can feel the vibe. You know if there's trust or not on the team. And that begins with that vision and that alignment. I often will work with clients and say, whatever's in your head, they have so much frustration built around. They just don't know. They just don't get it. Well, did you tell them? Did you help them to understand the why and what's really truly in your head? Because if your actions and decisions don't consistently align with your vision, then that trust will be broken. You have to put in place, as you say, Kirk, the most important thing that we do is put our core values in place and continuously talk about those with our team.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. You finish your thought, because I knew you were going to say something really good. Go.
I was just going to say, if you really put those core values in place and you convey to the team just how important and crucial they are, they'll continue to hold you and each other accountable to what those behaviors and characteristics look like. And that's really when the magic happens. I mean, you talk about it all the time. Now you go.
So let's go there. That's hack number 1, to create more alignment. I'm telling you, when you have more alignment, you can just do more. You feel better. So I want you to take this apart. So Heather, how do we make vision and core values visible as our first countermeasure or hack number 1 to make sure you can do this?
Great question. First of all, you have to have core values. You have to document them. Simon Sinek has a great video that says, you have to document them. You have to write them down. That expectation that's in your head that you get that frustration with your team, it's because you haven't written it down yet. They're not mind readers. You don't want them to crawl into your head and see all those things. You need to document it and make them as descriptive as possible so that they're aware that that is how they should behave, and that's the expectation. Then once you have that done, they should live and exist in the practice. Put them everywhere. In the beginning, Kirk, you say that they need to bake. So put them temporarily until you flesh them out fully, and recognize and understand that those are truly core and that they aren't the aspirational or permission to play values, which we talk about. Put them up on the walls. But as we've said in previous webinars and podcasts, they shouldn't just be on the walls. They should be alive in the halls. So starting morning huddles, talking about core values, talking about those celebrations, when they came alive, and same with your team meetings. Those things, by talking about them frequently, will help the team to really, truly become aligned with those core values and the behaviors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'll just add this because we say this all the time, and you might not be a fan of core values and you're like, oh gosh, here they go in the core values thing. Core values are the most important thing you'll ever do in a business. And I know that firsthand because they're non-negotiable behaviors that bond us. These are the non-negotiable rules. They should be verbs on how we behave together. Remember, you spend 30% of your life at work. Now, here's why this is so important. It's the base layer for everything. Because if you and I can agree, we are cut from the same fabric. We believe the same thing. We behave the same. We can deal with anything. At the end of the day, we can go in and have a meeting. We can get into a fight. Hopefully that doesn't happen frequently, but like you can go into a pretty good disagreement and still feel safe at the end instead of like leaving it feeling contempt. Contempt never gets fixed, ever. It grows in a marriage, in a relationship. When you have contempt, it's just going to completely grow until it creates conflict and eventually crisis. So, when you have your vision and your core values visible, you can say, hey, listen, one of our core values is always be growing. One of our core values is always all in attitude. One of them might be give greater than get. That's why we are going to do this, because you never go wrong when you lean into your core values. It's the bond, it's the glue, it's the third person in the room. It creates the why and a bigger why on that. Now, and if you start there, because if you don't start there and you don't start with, and you go somewhere like data right away, now you're just going to pick discrepancies. At the end of the day, even if I don't feel good about a decision, I can go, these are my people. And I love them and I want to do right by them because we're all bonded by these core values and they're visible. You do have to let them bake. You got to work with them. You can't just say, these are our core values. They're on the wall somewhere. I think we kind of know them. We talked about them last year at our staff retreat program. That's another thing. Don't say the word staff. Staff's an infection. Say, our team is bonded by these core values. So I could go on and on and on, but you're right. You got to make this vision and core values visible. That's hack number one. What else would you add?
Yes, absolutely. Well, with this specific hack, I would also say that we have to be creative about how we bring them alive. What is it that we're doing to shout them out? What is it that we're doing to talk about them and recognize each other for embodying these core values? We've gone through so many different iterations of how to celebrate them here at ACT. In just my time here, we've come up with all sorts of awesome ideas. We have medals. We have a WhatsApp chat. We've given other awards and recognition for those specific core values. Whatever that looks like for your team, I encourage you to have a conversation with the team about how they want them to show up. Our community back in the BPA, they have come up with so many creative ways of celebrating their core values, either daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. I've got teams that are focusing on one specific core value every single quarter. I've got some that are following along with ACT and with our contests, our core value contests, which are really fun. If my clients have a similar core value or the same core value, they're getting really excited and into producing a video that shows how they bring them to life in their practice. It's really, really fun. You can have a lot of fun with this. And when your team has fun, that is way better than when they show up and they just list them off. Rah, rah, rah. This is what we're doing. When they have fun and they get excited and passionate about it, that's when you'll notice they're going to show up in different ways, in way better ways than they have before. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. So what's hack number 2, Heather? So hack number 2 is to create consistent communication rhythms. And we're not talking about boring things. We're talking about implementing when we as a team get together and we talk. You talk about this all the time, Kirk, and I share it with my teams that I coach. You're essentially landing the plane to talk about patient care, to talk about team and practice health as well. So implementing daily huddles, that's when we talk about patient care. We're going to talk about our day. How's it going to flow the best? Who's doing what and when? What do we need to be aware of with that? How can our core values come to life in those? Let's be completely aligned as to what the day looks like. Same thing with our weekly team meetings. Our weekly team meetings are going to help us to accomplish the things that we're really focused on this quarter, which again, if we're aligned on that, we will be so productive and efficient with that weekly team meeting time. If we're not aligned, we're going to struggle. We're going to have that issue, that conflict that's not productive, that's not going to get us anywhere if we're not on the same page and aligned on the goals that are going to really truly address our challenges. We're going to have check-ins and our quarterly alignment meetings as well. And all of those pieces, if we're not aligned and on the same page, we're really going to struggle and issues will come up. Yeah, I totally agree. And so when it comes to this, your first thought might be, what's a communication rhythm? You have to establish regular communication rhythms, like huddles, like team
meetings like check-ins. So if you don't do anything, I'm just going to tell you this. Create a team member check-in. It's a regular sit down for 30 minutes. It allows space for you to talk about these things instead of doing them on the fly. Do a morning huddle on a regular basis every single day. Now you're like, morning huddles suck. Well, you've created that. The reason they suck is you've told yourself they suck. And so, yes, they will suck. You have to change the narrative and go, no, it's like the most important thing we do. Be relentless in your pursuit to say to yourself, our morning huddles are amazing. And then lastly, you have to have a regular team meeting, like you said, Heather, where you land the airplane and you fix the airplane. Now, you might say my team meetings suck. Well, that, again, you have created. So your job is to create a regular team meeting, not at the end of the day, not once a month, not during lunchtime, but in prime time, patient time, that is, where you're really doing great stuff. And now you can start to put the alignment factor. Our highest producing practices we've ever worked with in 30 years do their team meetings on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. I did say that before they start with patients because they value it so much. They know they can fix things. They can see cracks in alignment. They fix problems before they're happening, and they can bring their core values to life. And if you have core values like always be growing, your team members like, what does that even mean? Always be growing means I'm willing to compromise productive time so that we grow together. And that also fits, and again, I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but I care about you guys, is like team members come first, patients don't come first. And I make a statement if I'm a dentist saying Tuesday mornings from 8 to 10, we meet. And yes, that is productive time. We're going to do hugely, and you as a dentist, you can just repeat the good stuff. Like our core value is this. Now you can start to bring everybody in line because any crack in alignment blinds everybody else. If you have another dentist and you have a crack in alignment, just a tiny one, it blinds everybody else. If you're a parent and you have another person who co-parents and there's a crack in alignment, it blinds the children. You have to work all the time to make sure you're razor aligned as leaders, as team members. Any crack in alignment between you and your team confuses the patients. And when you confuse, you lose. So is that how we do it, Heather? I have no idea. I talk about this stuff all day long, but you're the one of our coaches who makes this happen with the teams that we coach.
I love what you said that when you confuse, you lose. It's very vital and important in order to get to alignment. Leadership, the team, leadership and team together is to understand and really hone in on the purpose and the why. Why are we doing morning huddles? What is the purpose of that? Same with our weekly team meetings. I was with a team last week in beautiful New Hampshire. I've never been there before. It was really pretty. And I asked the team the question, when you are flying in a plane and you're headed to your destination, would you like the maintenance crew to start working on and fixing the airplane while it's in the air? And of course, all of them got big eyes. They're like, no, definitely not. It's essentially what we do when we don't have a weekly team meeting. We said before, you have to land the plane and then let the maintenance crew go to work and make it better and proactively fix things so that we can stay on time, we can stay on schedule so that our flight's as smooth as possible. We literally cannot work on the practice when we are performing clinical dentistry. We just can't. So that alignment you'll get closer and closer to that alignment and be more aligned as a team together when everybody understands the purpose of why we're doing what it is that we're doing.
I love that. Love that. Let's go to hack number 3. What's the third way I can create more alignment with my team when I'm super busy as a dentist?
I love this so much. This third hack is to lead by example. And I'm smiling and giggling a little bit at the same time because we've got clients in our community that are stellar at leading by example, that recognize that it's important to land the plane and have the maintenance crew work on it and be proactive at the beginning. And then I've got some other clients, and we have other clients in our community that are struggling a little bit with this, because maybe they really haven't truly noticed and felt the purpose and the why of it as well. And like you said, any crack in alignment is going to just blind the rest of the team, because that crack is that they're not leading 100% by example. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect. You definitely don't have to be perfect. But once you share with your team, these are the actions, these are the core values, these are the things that are expected, and you live by those as well, You start somewhere, and you start by leading by following the core values and by really embracing those behaviors and those characteristics. You show the team just how important the morning huddle and the weekly team meetings are, and those personal team member check-ins too. If you've got like, oh, I've got a patient, well, I could put them here and move this check-in, you absolutely could. But is that leading by the example that you want? Or what kind of message is that showing to your team?
Yeah. It's so, there's so much to say from what you just said, Heather, so brilliantly. And I'm just going to speak to the dentist. And I was you at one time when you're like, I want everybody else to do this. Well, you as the leader have to do it first. You also have to be extremely consistent and clear with your words. When bad things happen, you have to be able to cascade them clearly, fast, and unemotionally if you can. You also have to put these core values up there, and you have to say, I have to walk these more than anybody because no one's going to screw up more than me. Mm-hmm. You have to be early for a team meeting. You can't be late for a team meeting. When you're late for a team meeting, it screams, I do not care. You have to be ready for a huddle. When you're not ready for a huddle, it screams this isn't important. A check-in, your eyes can't go everywhere, and you can't be looking at your Apple Watch that's buzzing all the time. You got to lean right in to the soul of the person that you're checking in with. Go and say to them with your body language and your questions, I care a lot. And so while you have a lot going on, I know what you're thinking. You're listening to this going, you don't understand my life. Well, maybe I don't. But I do tell you, like, when you have cracks in alignment with anybody, they get bigger and they create contempt, then they create conflict, which unresolved always becomes a crisis. The antidote for all of this is alignment, but you have to do it through consistent communication, not reactive communication. A lot of times we have these sit downs when we got to get on the same page, and it's only when I'm pissed off and you're pissed off, and you don't want to do that. Don't do that. Sorry, I shouldn't talk like that, but like this stuff matters and we care a lot. So Heather,
You're absolutely right, Kirk. You're talking about like being proactive rather than reactive, and that feels so much better, not only to you but to the team member too. Because you said as you lean in, those check-ins are just so crucial, and that's going to speak to your core values. I know it will. Every single one of our clients has a core value that speaks to, in some way or another, points to the fact that everyone's important, and it's not just about patients. Like you said, the team's more important. When you put the team first, then the patients naturally come, and the patients will know that they're cared for if that team is cared for also. It's that proactive. You would so much rather, this is our profession. We would so much rather take care of something dental clinically that's small, or prevent it before it becomes something big for the patient and for us. It's the exact same with our team and with our core values, with the alignment piece. If we do those things and be proactive about it rather than be reactive, it's going to help in so many ways.
Totally agree. Heather, that was awesome. Any final takeaways that you have?
Well, here's the thing. The alignment, when you say, Kirk, like, you don't know my life, there's so many dentists out there that are busy. Listen, that's the whole thing here. Like, these are hacks for those that are busy. Just pick one thing. Start small, pick one hack, and you're going to focus on just that hack. It's not going to require more time. Intentional focus. That's what it requires. And you will find by focusing on those things and by picking one thing, it will actually gift you time back, because we're going to increase our productivity and we're going to modify and improve our efficiencies. It's really going to help you. Being well aligned, it's going to help the team morale too. And who doesn't want better team morale? It's going to also improve that patient experience and make it just stronger as ever before, and will create a less stressful environment for you. The word that you've used before, Kirk, is frictionless. I've loved that word for the last quarter. Frictionless. Let's make it as frictionless as possible for you, for the team, for your patients. You want to pull up and park and know that this is going to be an amazing day, and you want to get out of your car and walk into the practice.
Yeah, I love it. Heather, and I'm going to leave you with the biggest tip of all. This is super important. Agreement and alignment are not the same thing. Let me say that again. Agreement and alignment are not the same thing. If you care a lot about another person that you live with or work with, we don't have to agree, but we do have to be extremely aligned on how we move forward. If you're married, you know this is a valuable piece of staying married, is being aligned. I don't ever want to be right. I want to be married. Like, I want to choose that first. So like the thing is like, even in leadership, I have a leadership team of 6. I don't always have to agree. But when it comes to the other team members, we have to be extremely aligned. If you're a dentist and you have a vision for your practice, you don't always have to agree with your team members. And I'm not telling you should be right. But once you leave a room, a team meeting, a huddle, a check-in, and you're aligned, you are good. And so I'll finish by saying what I said at the beginning. Misalignment is the root of all evil. Anytime evil happens, it usually starts with misalignment. And we don't want you to do that. So we've given you a beautiful treatment plan. Heather, great job today. One of the things you can notice if you're back in the BPA, we actually have a great tool. It's called the CRO, the Chief Reminding Officer tool, and a checklist. If you need it, you want it, and you're not a member of the BPA, you could email us at info@actdental. I'll send you a copy of it. And you can join the BPA. Back in the BPA, in the premium area, you'll see all of these resources where you can have all of this at your fingertips. We actually have an app where you can take it on your own and you can learn more about your practice. And if you want more information about what we do and you just want a better practice, and you don't want to figure this all on your own, you can contact Courtney on our team. She's amazing to learn more about what we do. Heather, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kirk. I appreciate you. Thanks for taking time to chat with me today.
Appreciate you. Stick around while we say goodbye to everybody else. But thank you guys for listening to the Best Practices Show podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Our job forever is to bring you stuff that will help you improve your practice in your life. We're at over 850 some episodes. I don't even know. But we're going to bring you 8,000 more because we love this stuff and we love this profession. And I'm here to tell you, you can have an amazing practice and an amazing life if you just stay focused on the right things. Dentistry is an incredible profession, and we're here to help you every step of the way. So until we see you guys next time or you hear from us next time, keep watching or keep listening to the Best Practices Show. You guys enjoy your day.